If the Pure Land cultivates with sincerity, he will be reborn in the land of solemn retribution dimensional space, in the Western ultimate bliss land, and will not be born in the dimensional space with more than convenience, the dimensional space where ordinary and saints live together. But Pure Land Buddhism is indeed a convenient method. Any other sect, any method, if you don't use your sincerity, you will definitely not be able to achieve it. But the advantage of Pure Land Buddhism is here. Delusional mind can also be born in the cohabitation land of mortal and saints, which brings us great convenience. People who can't get rid of their afflictions and habits can succeed in their studies and be reborn if they can follow the principles and methods taught in the Pure Land Sutras. This is an incomparable excellence in the Pure Land. So, when you make a vow, on what basis do you make your vows? And where do you make your vows? We have to know. Let's talk about implementing it in terms of facts. There are connections and differences in the facts. Connection means common. All Bodhisattvas and all Buddha have common vows. This is the four great vows. The four great vows are common vows. Where does this vow come from? Where did it arise? It comes from the prajna and compassion in the self-nature. If you don't have wisdom, you won't be able to arouse them. And if you don't have compassion, you won't be able to arouse them either. Because of wisdom and compassion, seeing the suffering of all beings, especially the beings in the 6 realms, who have fallen in the circulation of the 6 realms since beginningless kalpas and have no way to escape. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas saw it, so they initiated the sentient beings are numberless. I vow to save them. And this vow was made from this place. In the Four Noble Truths, it is based on the truth of the unsatisfactoriness. Is it based on this? When we make vows, the suffering of living beings in modern times is countless times higher than that of living beings in ancient times. The suffering of living beings in modern times is countless times higher than that of living beings in ancient times. Technology brings us some convenience in life. Today's sound, light, chemistry, and electricity did not exist in ancient times. But have you ever thought of the price we pay for the convenience of technology? You have to think carefully. That is what the ancients said. Far more problems than it solves. The benefits we get are small, the time is short, and the price we pay is disproportionately high. In other words, if we speak clearly, a little more clearly, we will prolong the time of suffering in the 6 realms and increase the suffering in the 6 realms. Do you think it is worth it? Why is this phenomenon? This kind of materialistic life increases our greed, hatred, ignorance, and arrogance, which is far less than that of ancient times. In ancient times, ordinary people's thoughts of greed, hatred, ignorance, and arrogance are thinner than they are now. In other words, the time of his reincarnation can be shortened, and the suffering in the 6 realms can be reduced, which is not the case for us today. Don't say it's been a long time. Half a century ago, I haven't heard people say that. The earth is sick, and the ecological environment is unbalanced. I haven't heard of it. I haven't heard of air pollution or environmental pollution 50 years ago, 100 years ago. No, where are these nouns? The advancement of science and technology can be said to be changing with each passing day. But you have never thought of the disasters it brings. If these scientists suddenly realize that this negative disaster is too great, I think their science and technology will be terminated, and they will no longer develop or do it. Only a person with a clear mind and a calm mind can observe it. Therefore, all living beings are suffering. Although material civilization has progressed, all living beings are suffering more than before. There are some conveniences in material enjoyment, but mental pain cannot be avoided by everyone. In this society today, you have a lot of wealth and a high status, but it is still unavoidable. There is no such leisurely life as people in ancient times. We have read a lot in ancient texts. In the past, people who were officials, local leaders, and leaders were not busy at work. They finished their work in 1 or 2 hours a day. The rest of the time was reading, writing, painting, and sightseeing. Living a poetic and picturesque life, unlike people today. Where is it that every second counts against the current people's life? Why is this life too much, so tense, and so painful? Knowing the truth, are you still willing to reincarnate in the human world? He will not come.